Welcome everyone again. Pranam. So this is talk number 4 out of 5 about the life of Swami B Tripurari, my Guru Maharaj. Could they hear me before? Okay. Let's see. And so in the first class, I was talking about Guru Maharaj's previous life and his early time in this life before joining the Krishna consciousness movement. And then in the second one, his time in Srila Prabhupada's formal mission, ISKCON. And then in the one last week, his time with Srila Maharaj, and then also his time with Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. And in this talk, I will go from 1999 until now. And I may be going a little bit back and forth, not always following like a chronological order, because there are so many like layers. The kind of layers I'm thinking of is the places where Guru Maharaj has been preaching, the books he has been writing, and the ashrams he has established. And so I will pick up where I left off last time, and that was when Guru Maharaj was moving from his like kind of preaching center in Eugene, in the state of Oregon, and moving down to California to kind of retreat sort of from the world. His plan was to stop initiating and not be like traveling so much and preaching, but mostly staying in one place and write books, and in that way nourish the Vaishnav community. Because he was thinking that there are anyways so many others who are going around everywhere and preaching and initiating, but to do the service to just sit down and really yes, thank you, and really kind of think through the whole philosophy and give like deeper explanations to all the concepts. This was a service that was more required, and something that he was also more drawn to. But it didn't last for very long before he was kind of drawn out to go to different places, because people, like as he has explained, like once you like write books and they come out, then people become attracted, and they want to hear more, and some people want to get initiated. So then kind of the preaching was kind of starting again and having a mission again. So when Guru Maharaj moved from Eugene to Mendocino County in California, he was working on writing his Bhagavad Gita commentary. And he also had in mind at this time to kind of establish places, ashrams, that would correspond with the books, so that when people read his books and then they come and visit him at the ashram, it should like make sense for them that, okay, if he is writing a book like this, then it makes sense that he is living in a place like this. So he established Audarya there in Mendocino in California, and he lived there with only a few disciples, three disciples or so, and his plan was to continue like that. And but they were doing like pioneering, like they bought the land for establishing Audarya, so in the beginning, when they came there was no buildings or anything. So they were just living in tents and just like showering by hanging a plastic bag with water from the branch of a tree and just standing under that and showering. And so Guru Maharaj, he was finishing his Bhagavad Gita commentary, like finishing to write it while he was still living in a tent. So he would just kind of in the daytime he was just sitting on a like on a chair with a small desk just outside in nature, and writing, and when he was done writing and was going to publish it, he wrote a foreword. So he was kind of complete with the whole book on Advaita Saptami in the year of 2000, I believe, if it was not 2001. And he dedicated the book to the great grand disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So it's an interesting way to put it, I think. So one time I asked him about that, like what was the purpose of saying it in that way, and because I was reasoning, like it makes sense, like because it's a short way of saying like the grand disciples of Srila Prabhupada and Srila Shri Maharaj and Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj and so on. But he simply answered, it means it's for you. It's for people like you. So so he meant that like for like his own disciples and disciples of his peers, kind of those who are like in the same generation as him. So the deities that he installed there at Audarya was the ones that he had before from his previous temple in Eugene, big murtis of Shri Shri Gauranitai, and he has explained, because he got the small Gauranitai deities in the 70s on the instruction of Srila Prabhupada, and they are both with their arms up. But these the big deities, then Mahaprabhu is with one hand up and one hand out, and Nityananda is with two hands reaching forward. And Guru Maharaj has shared that that form of Gauranitai came to him like from worshiping the small Gauranitai deities. He was inspired to, like in his heart, to see them in the way that like in the position that the big deities are. So as he has explained, I will also give another example of that. But he says like he's kind of saying that those big deities came out of the small deities, and so they are the main deities there at Audarya. And of course, the name Audarya is it's the quality of Gaura Lila, and it means Audarya means generosity. And like we often hear this kind of description that Gaura Lila is Audarya Lila and Krishna Lila is Madhurya Lila. And so it's very fitting then that his other ashram that he established in 2007 in Costa Rica is called Madhuvan. So you have the Audarya and you have the Madhu, the Madhurya. Because at Madhuvan there is deities of Krishna Balarama as the main deities on the altar. And but that is jumping ahead a little bit. So back more to around the year of 2000. Guru Maharaj was not only writing the Bhagavad Gita, he was also working on other writing projects. For example, he established the Sangha newsletter, which was questions and answers newsletter, which got a very big readership. It had 10,000 people subscribing to that newsletter and also sending in questions. And Guru Maharaj was giving his very like deep and dynamic answers. And there are like so many topics. If you go through those archives, you'll just get to kind of you kind of get a new worldview, you can say. It's very soothing and refreshing and just very very powerful way of preaching. And that newsletter was taken care of by Brahma Das, who was one of the two devotees that Guru Maharaj met in 1984 when he had read Srila Sridhar Maharaj's books. He met the two devotees that were publishing Srila Sridhar Maharaj's books. So this Brahma Das, he also moved when Guru Maharaj had moved to Mendocino in California. Then Brahma also moved there to a place nearby and started a small inn. It's like a small little like kind of roadside hotel, and doing this kind of editing work for Guru Maharaj's Sangha newsletter. Guru Maharaj was also going down every year to the Ratha Yatra in San Francisco, and also Agnidev Prabhu moved down to a city nearby called Santa Rosa, and so he was going to lead the kirtans at the Ratha Yatra, and Guru Maharaj and the other devotees also came to participate. And so the program was that they would have Guru Maharaj would prepare the devotees before going down to participate in the Ratha Yatra. So they would have let's say like a 5-day festival at Audarya, where Guru Maharaj would give classes on Ratha Yatra to get everyone kind of tuned in to the mood of the Jagannath Puri Ratha Yatra and Mahaprabhu's feelings for Jagannath. And so he would kind of get everyone excited about that, about Mahaprabhu and about Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. And then they would all go down to San Francisco and participate with very full absorption. And this also reminds me of Rameshwar, who was the kind of temple leader when Guru Maharaj joined Prabhupada's movement in the 70s, because he one time said to Guru Maharaj that Ratha Yatra is because they had Jagannath deities there also in the Los Angeles temple, and Rameshwar told Guru Maharaj that Ratha Yatra is the one day of the year when you can know what's on the deity's mind. So they were kind of like in that spirit when they were going down to Ratha Yatra from Audarya down to San Francisco. And at one of those Ratha Yatras, Guru Maharaj met Krishangi and Kamalaksha, and in that way the connection was made to kind of start preaching in Finland, because Krishangi and Kamalaksha would invite him to have a retreat there every summer. So Guru Maharaj started going there, and one summer he was giving a series of lectures on the Shikshashtakam, and the devotees there asked him that this should be a book. So Guru Maharaj started to put that put the ideas from those classes into a book that then became the Shikshashtakam of Shri Chaitanya. So he dedicates that book to his Finnish disciples, if you look at the first page there. And he has talked about his like research for like writing that he was trying to find commentaries of Shikshashtakam to kind of draw from, but he couldn't find many. It seems like that from the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and until the time of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, there were no commentaries on Shikshashtakam written. So he looked at Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's commentary, and also that of Anantadas Babaji, because like those were the ones he could find. So he really put effort into putting to words like there's so many things in the Shikshashtakam that can be unlocked. So since there hadn't been so many commentaries, he really like did an effort to bring out a comprehensive commentary, and also of course in modern language with new insights. I should also rewind again. Like I said, I will be jumping back and forth because it's hard to keep a straight line with all of these things. But going back to his thinking about the Bhagavad Gita, he has told that when he joined the temple as a young brahmachari, there was like a division of devotees. Like there was the Bhagavad Gita devotees and the Srimad Bhagavatam devotees. So it means like the devotees who prefer to read the Bhagavad Gita and think and feel like everything is in there, and then there's those who prefer the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Guru Maharaj has said that he was always a Srimad Bhagavatam devotee, and like I mentioned, he has studied Srila Prabhupada's Srimad Bhagavatam about 30 times, but he only read the Bhagavad Gita like 10 times, he said. So he felt like he hadn't done justice to the Bhagavad Gita. Like he felt that Bhagavad Gita deserves more attention from him. So he was interested. He was taking inspiration from those Bhagavad Gita devotees, because he had heard them say such things like everything is in the Bhagavad Gita. So he was trying to find like in what way everything is in the Bhagavad Gita, and he got very absorbed in that. He said that every chapter that he was commenting on, he felt like that chapter by chapter, that every chapter was the best one. Like going through the first chapter, then this is the best chapter, and then going to the second chapter, oh, this is even better, and then the third even better, and so on throughout the whole Bhagavad Gita. And he has still said like that he felt afterwards, or he feels now, that so much more could be said. Like so he has even he has talked about like writing another Bhagavad Gita commentary, and he has mentioned how Srila Prabhupada also was saying like that when someone asked him one time, like, Prabhupada, what will be your next book? And Prabhupada said, yeah, I was thinking the Bhagavad Gita. And then some devotee said, but you already translated the Bhagavad Gita. And he said, yes, but it can be done so many times. And also Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote 2 commentaries of the Bhagavad Gita. And next, I want to kind of get into one layer here. Like I said, Guru Maharaj kind of connects his places, like his ashrams, with his books, that he wants them to correspond with his books. And he mentions in his Bhagavad Gita commentary, in the introduction, that when he was for the very first time on a morning walk with Srila Prabhupada, then Prabhupada was instructing his disciples that they should also write books. And on that same morning walk, Guru Maharaj describes a beautiful vision that he had. And he describes it like this. And this is at a point when Prabhupada and the devotees had become silent. They were just walking in silence. So Guru Maharaj writes, "The silence continued, and I felt the need to absorb my mind in spiritual thoughts, lest it not take full advantage of the opportunity at hand. Crossing the field, as if influenced by a force beyond myself, I thought spontaneously of Vrindavan, Krishna, and his cowherds and cows. Almost effortlessly, my mind became absorbed in a sense of the pastoral setting of Vrindavan and Krishna's leelas of cowherding with his friends. Where were we, really?" So he had a like a vision of the Dham, and and he has also described another vision of the Dham that he had while he was out on book distribution. So after a while, he was sitting down on a bench to take rest a little bit, and all of a sudden he said that the atmosphere around just changed, and it looked like he was in Vrindavan. And he said that he couldn't see Krishna, but it felt as if Krishna was nearby. And he has also described similar things about Audarya, like his ashram, like waking up in the night and just kind of feeling that Krishna is somewhere here behind the trees. Like I can't see him, but I feel like he's like just here. So all this, like his meditation on the holy Dham is very connected with his book writing, and he has also said that well, he hasn't made. He didn't draw the comparison, but like that I'm doing. But he has, like it said, for example, in Shastra that Krishna and his holy Dham is non-different. And Guru Maharaj has said about his ashrams that he is non-different from them. One time he expressed it like this. He said that my places are me through and through. And of course, one has to tune into that to be able to see that. And studying his books is one way of doing that. So I want to also rewind again and give kind of one more layer that there's a nice statement by my god brother Syamasundar that he in one song that he wrote, he calls Guru Maharaj the form of the combined mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And this is kind of what he's manifesting both in his books and at his ashrams. And Guru Maharaj has explained, like for example, like Mitra Sen was saying in his interview with Archana the other week, that people are usually, like, people aren't really rational in the first place. Like, we always have the feeling first, and then we rationalize. And Guru Maharaj has described kind of how Srila Prabhupada and Srila Sridhar Maharaj would like complement each other in that sense, that Prabhupada was giving the feeling, and he was stopping everyone from thinking, really, like they were just kind of struck by Prabhupada's Shakti and very inspired and just working on that inspiration. And Prabhupada was putting many things in their heart. And Guru Maharaj has explained how that when they came to Srila Sridhar Maharaj, it was as if, like, now it's time to think about all these things. Like, Prabhupada put all these things in our heart, and now it's time to kind of process it with our intelligence, to kind of think deeply about those things that Prabhupada put in their heart. So also like the instruction from Srila Prabhupada to Guru Maharaj was to just spread the teachings of bhakti far and wide, just distribute, just kind of put it out there, just spread seeds and so on. But then Srila Maharaj's instruction was it's like a follow-up instruction to that. He was saying to do relief work, and that is when all the people who come from, like all the people who came from all that preaching to ISKCON, or let's say it like this, a lot of people had come from all that spreading of bhakti, and they had joined ISKCON, but then there was a lot of problems in ISKCON when Prabhupada left the world, and people were leaving ISKCON because they were disappointed with all the chaos. So Srila Maharaj was instructing Guru Maharaj to kind of try to help those people who were leaving, who were feeling disappointed. So to kind of show them that there is an alternative. There is like there are like still good examples to follow, and also to nourish them, because like maybe they weren't leaving ISKCON because they were like only because of all the problems, but also because maybe they just weren't getting nourishment. Of course, those two things are related highly. So Guru Maharaj is like offering that next step of nourishment. And now I want to talk about Audarya and Guru Maharaj's kind of vision for like what the ashram is for. He has kind of explained how the Mangala Arati, like ideally, this is ideally how it should be, that you come for the Mangala Arati and you stand in front of the deities and look at the deities, and the image of them should become imprinted in your mind, and then you carry that impression of the deities in your mind throughout the whole day as you're doing service, and you should always be doing service. This doesn't mean like that you have to burn yourself out, but it means that you should do everything in the context of service. Like you should like meditate on in what way everything that you're engaged in is service, even if you're resting or if you're reading or chanting. So you get the imprint in the morning, carry that imprint with you from moment to moment of service, and then you come back again to the temple in the evening, get the impression from the evening arati, and you go to sleep after, and you dream about doing seva throughout the night. And also this like this shows how Guru Maharaj is like creating facilities for and offering those things that he offering opportunities for those things that he has been like engaged in him by himself for a long time. like for example, this like imprint. Guru Maharaj has described how when he was a brahmachari, he would stand in the morning in front of the deities in Los Angeles, Shri Radha Krishna, and they were getting a new outfit every day, the deities, and new ornaments and everything, like a new arrangement. So Guru Maharaj would stand before the deities and do his japa, and he would look at the deities from the bottom to the top, and he would memorize where all the details were. Like today, Krishna is wearing this ornament there, and Radha is wearing this thing there, and what colors and everything, and all those details. This is also kind of corresponding with, for example, how he was listening to a lecture of Prabhupada, and then he was able to retell the whole lecture to like a god brother or a god sister when they were on their way to go out and distribute books. So like in the same way, he was kind of recording in his mind and heart all the details of the deities, and as he was out on book distribution, he would go through like all those details in his mind. Like he would kind of internally, he would look at the deities from their feet and up to the faces, like over and over as he was doing his book distribution. He explained that he would stand in front of the deities and chant japa until something clicked in him, and he got the inspiration that now I want to go out. So he was kind of charging, and like when fully charged, then go out and distribute and give that charge. Like that's like how he was so powerful at book distribution. He was fully charged, and he's just like letting out that charge. Like there is no, of course there's effort, but it's like he says, it's effortless effort. It's just charge going out. Also, he has described like this kind of charging in different ways. Also, like the example I gave before about preaching to the devotees about Ratha Yatra, and then going to Ratha Yatra and experience it through that charge is an example of the same thing. And also, when they were doing book distribution in the 70s, I've heard stories of like how Guru Maharaj would sit with the devotees inside a van, and he would read to them, for example, from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and explain, like give explanations and preach. And at one point, everyone would be charged up by that Hari Katha, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Katha. And it was as if they would just burst out of the vehicle to go out and try to sell the books to people. And Guru Maharaj has, when he has given instructions about doing seva at the ashram, he has said that it shouldn't be just mindless work. Like it should all be seen in connection to Krishna. I mean, it is in connection to Krishna, and you should pay attention to that. So he has said, for example, like if you're picking weeds in the garden, then you should like meditate that you're pulling out anarthas from your heart. He has also given a nice correlation with something that's described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that describes that like Bhava Bhakti is like doing bhakti just like directly from the heart, and sadhana bhakti is to more like do effort to engage in service, and like with the goal of becoming, with the goal of attaining bhava. But he is, and at the stage of bhava, like for example, the same activities that we do in sadhana bhakti. Let's say we open a book to read. That is an effort to that we are doing with the aspiration to develop bhava bhakti. But for a bhava bhakta, if a bhava bhakta takes the book and opens it, that in itself is bhava. Like it's an anubhava. It's an ecstatic movement to like open a book and read, or to chant japa, or do deity worship. It's bhava seva, as it's called. So Guru Maharaj has given a correlation that you can kind of have a touch of what it's like to do bhava seva by, for example, listening to a class in your headphones while doing some kind of task, like some garden task or something like that. Because if you can like feel the inspiration from the lecture, like while you're like doing the activities, it's like it is like almost like bhava seva. It is like bhava seva by extension, you could say. Like you become like an extension of your guru's bhava seva. And then like speaking about dreams, and like the way Guru Maharaj was describing it, that you should kind of get the imprint of the deities in your heart in the morning, and then maintain that vision throughout the day. Try to hold that vision by living in such a way that you're not just spilling it out, like you live in a way that's just holding that. Then like you will be able to like maintain that also in your dreaming life at night. And Guru Maharaj is a very beautiful example of that, because for him, like when he's coming to Mangal Arti, it's not that he is only like endeavoring to get an imprint that will last and then help him, but he already has the imprint from his night, from sleeping. He is already like doing service there, and coming to Mangal Arti is just continuing. It's like 24 hours engagement in bhajan. And I have one beautiful memory about that. It's one time when I was offering arti at one Mangala Arti. When I came to the point where, like, let's say, for example, I don't remember which article I was offering at the time. It was maybe the chamara or something. So then when I had offered the chamara to the deities, and I turned around to offer the chamara to the devotees, then Guru Maharaj and the devotees were running around in a circle, and they were chanting, Nitai Chaitanya Bole Nachre Amarman, Nitai Chaitanya Bole Nachre Amarman, Nachre Amarman, Nachre Amarman. And like, but very kind of loud and enthusiastic, and And after the arati was over, Guru Maharaj just told us that before he came to the Mangal Arati, he woke up from a dream that he was doing just that he was running in a circle with the devotees and chanting that bhajan of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, or chanting that kirtan of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And also there's another sweet anecdote, was that he used to be engaged quite a bit in discussions online about Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. And there was one evening where he had been engaged in a discussion for some time, like with some god brothers and other devotees. And it had kind of become a debate. So there was a lot of arguments going back and forth. And at one point, Guru Maharaj just said that I apologize, but now I have to leave because I have cows to milk in my dreams. So, so that's how he ended the discussion that day. And many other examples of Guru Maharaj sharing about his dreams. So I also, let's see here. So at Audarya, there's a morning song, like the Mangala Arati song. It's a song that he kind of gave the idea, and then he got help from some devotees to write it in Bengali. But it's a vision of the morning time of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It begins with like all the devotees coming to and going towards Mahaprabhu's like home, or in the case of the ashram, then it's all the devotees coming to the temple in the morning. And then it describes how Mahaprabhu is laying in bed, and he wakes up from the sound of the parrots who are singing about Radha and Krishna. Then he sits up in bed and meditates on Radha and Krishna. Then Nityananda Prabhu comes to his door with some other devotees, and Sachi Mata comes to wake up Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu goes out in the courtyard, and devotees come with camphor lights and offer arati to him. And it is at the end of this song that I mentioned in one previous class that Guru Maharaj he put his a prayer that he had in his brahmachari days to kind of share that with his disciples, that they can also pray like that. He put his prayers into words there. That the prayer that he had when he was young. It was that, please let me be sincere about being sincere. And the way it is expressed in the song is that one day I hope to say honestly that I don't want anything else than love for Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in the evening at Audarya, we were singing the Gaura Arati of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And Guru Maharaj has also to kind of explain how he feels about that song, like what he's seeing when he hears that song. He wrote a poem, and I want to share that here also. May this ritual of light bring an end to the night of my life in the shadow. From darkness to light, beautiful, bright, and more, the Arati of Nitai Gaur on Ganga Devi's shore. These brothers too and Shri Guru stand before me, calling from circumference to center, my mind attentive, earth, fire, water, ether, air, and more, offered one by one, ahankara undone. In Sadhaka Deha now I stand at Yoga Peeth, the land, Sadhaka Siddha Bhumi. I pray, Gurudev Tumi Kripa Kori. Only then can I offer arati to Gauranitai, tear in my eye, lamp of love, my heart to shine. So, and so that is something about his Audarya ashram. To say something, now it's already very late, but just to mention something about Madhuvan. Like I said, like you have Audarya and then you have the Madhu, Madhurya, Madhuvan. There are the deities of Shri Krishna Balaram, Dauji Gopal. And just like Guru Maharaj explained with the big deities of Gauranitai coming out of the small deities, he has said the same thing about Dauji Gopal, that the kind of human-like deities of Dauji Gopal came out of the worship of the Krishna Balaram Govardhan Shilas. And yesterday, Chitta Hari told a story of picking up those Shilas at Govardhan in his interview. And there is a lot to share there also about Madhavan. Guru Maharaj has told like the story of how it kind of clicked with the owners of that land, like that they were much in need to sell the land because of the situation that they were in, and Guru Maharaj was looking for a piece of land, and like they were actually praying. The owners, they're Catholics, so they were praying to God that they would find a buyer for the land, and Guru Maharaj was praying to find land. So it was a divine connection. And Guru Maharaj has described very poetically how the land there at Madhuvan has been waiting for Krishna Balaram to come for centuries. Like all the generations of animals and birds and everything have all been waiting for Dauji Gopal to appear. Then we also have the Saragrahi Ashram in North Carolina, and there you have both Gaura Lila and Krishna Lila, because it's the deities there is Gaura, Radha Madhava, and Guru Maharaj does stress very much that ultimately there is no difference between Gaura Lila and Krishna Lila, because Gaura Lila is an extension of Krishna Lila. In the same way, Navadvip is an extension of Vrindavan. It can also be seen the other way around, that Krishna Lila comes from Gaura Lila. It's explained like that in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Of course, it's all just going around. It's like the chicken and the egg. So Saragrahi, which means essence seeking, is to see that essence, that Gaura Lila and Krishna Lila is the same. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, Mahaprabhu Shri Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahe Anya. That Mahaprabhu is none other than Radha Krishna combined. And Srila Shridhar Maharaj has written a very beautiful song about this that he calls Shri Saraswati Arati. So it's like an arati to to Bhaktisiddhanta, but it's mainly glorifying this vision that Bhaktisiddhanta had of Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna. Of course, it's not something that Bhaktisiddhanta invented, but he really put emphasis on it by starting to install deities of Mahaprabhu next to Radha Krishna. And there's a beautiful song that Srila Shri Maharaj kind of puts light on this, this relationship between Bhaktisiddhanta and those deities. And so I want to read the translation of that here also, and I think I will finish with that. All glory to the voice of Shri Gauranga, the embodiment of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's mercy, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He manifested Shri Gauranga's service for the upliftment of the world. His teaching of devotion is pure, brilliant, and enlightening. All glory to the combined form of Shri Shri Radha Shyam, Shri Gaura Roy on the right, Shri Radha on the left, and the dark cowherd boy himself in the middle. Vraja's rasa manifests in a new way in Navadvip. Madhura rasa dresses newly in benevolence. So there it mentions in the Bengali udare, which is the kind of it's a form of the same word of audarya. It says udare madhura raga abhinava sajya. Sweet divine love, Vraja's essence, reaches its climax in Shri Gauranga's pastimes. Shri Gauranga earnestly embraces Shri Radha's heart and halo and takes his place on the right to show his rasa's glory. Seeing Krishna's secret endeavor to taste her threefold rasa, Radha is fulfilled and smiles gently. Remaining in the middle, the flute player declares with the song of his flute, with Radha's wealth, I am Gaura Sundar. If you serve Gauranga, my form, which is cherished in the temple of Radha's heart, will be fully revealed to you. Gauranga Mahaprabhu appeared in Nadia, and Providence combined the savior of the fallen, the Kali Yuga avatar within him. This type of arati is unknown to Brahma and Shiva. Only a recipient of Shri Gauranga's devotees' mercy reaches such perfection. Devotees see this arati by the mercy of Shri Swarup Damodar, Shri Ramananda Roy, Shri Rupa, Shri Sanatan, Shri Raghunath, Shri Jiva, and their associates. All glory to Shri Guru, Gauranga, and Radha Govinda Sundar. All devotees glorify them always and forever. So here I will end, and there are many things in my notes that I didn't really have time to elaborate on, but of course, Guru Maharaj, other than the Shikshashtakam and Bhagavad Gita, he also wrote his commentary to Gopal Tapani Upanishad, sacred preface, helped writing Oh My Friend about Srila Prabhupada's inner life. He wrote a book called A Form of Beauty, which is describing different leelas of Krishna, accompanied by paintings of a very good artist named Sharma, B.G. Sharma. There's also a small book called Songs of Mercy, I believe, that he wrote together. It's both his writings and those of Bhakti Ballabh Tirtha Maharaj. see if I have a list here. And also, I should mention that he started preaching in Poland in the kind of mid 2000s, and also in Portland, up in the state of Oregon, and in UK and in North Carolina. He started doing the Swami call that we still have every Sunday, started from the preaching he did in North Carolina. Yes, there are many things to mention. He did the kirtan for the reinstallation of Srila Prabhupada's murti in Vrindavan in 2007, which is very significant and deep, and a beautiful kind of outward example of Guru Maharaj's intimate connection with Srila Prabhupada. And like just the synchronicity of how that happened with him visiting Vrindavan after not having visited Vrindavan for many years. Yes. So I will end there. If anyone wants to add any comments or ask any questions.
Can you say how Chaitanya Sangha name came up?
Okay, so Sakyarati is asking here how Guru Maharaj came to name his Sangha as Shri Chaitanya Sangha. Because as I mentioned in the previous lecture, Guru Maharaj's mission used to be called the Gaudiya Vaishnava Society. But that kind of formal mission was closed down in 1999, and then it was simply Audarya, or the newsletter was called Sangha. But now the mission is called Shri Chaitanya Sangha, and that actually comes from Brigupad from Finland. Did they come up with the name?
Yeah. A group.
Yeah, I know they made a group, but, yeah. Did they come up with the name?
I thought together.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so anyone can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but they had made an association in Finland for devotees to come together from different sanghas, as they were not allowed to participate in the ISKCON temple. Like they felt that they want to have some kind of association, so they called it Shri Chaitanya Sangha. And when Guru Maharaj heard that name, he liked it, so he took it and used also for his own mission. And it's also very appropriate if you look at that history, then, because our Sangha is made of devotees from many sanghas, and also we relate with many sanghas. So there is a question from Vrajahari, if you can translate for me. Ananga Manjari, can you hear me? Can you translate the question? And also, I'm not sure if I cannot hear her at least.
Yeah, because you're not named.
Okay, now I can hear you. Sorry, I couldn't hear you before. I'm very sorry. Can you repeat one more time? Because there's a lot of noise in the background here in my place. Oh yes, so I will repeat the question because on Facebook they cannot hear the Spanish side. so Vrajahari is asking if there's any particular place in India that is especially dear to my Guru Maharaj, that would be considered a place of pilgrimage, like for us, for his disciples. And I think there are many places. I guess I couldn't say just one, but I can say one thing that Prabhupada, that Guru Maharaj has thought about, that he hasn't done, but that is to go around and visit the samadhis of the Dvadasha Gopals. Those are the like 12 kind of closest followers of Nityananda Prabhu, and they were preaching in different like villages in India, and they're like many of their samadhis are still there. So he would love to one day go and visit those samadhis. Otherwise, the Krishna Balarama temple in Vrindavan is very special, of course, Prabhupada's temple, given how deeply connected Guru Maharaj was with helping Prabhupada to like build that temple, like by raising money for building the temple. Yeah, if I can think of more specific examples, I can write to you, Brajahari.
Haribol.
Haribol.
Hey, thank you for the interesting talk once again. I have a question about Audarya. Like you told this beautiful background story for Madhuvan, like how the prayers kind of called Guru Maharaj to come there. So do you know if there's some kind of like similar story to Audarya as well? Like how did Guru Maharaj find the place, and how did he know that like this is the place where I want to build my ashram?
So the only thing I remember hearing about that was like that they were visiting different places, Guru Maharaj and those few devotees who came with him, and that's what is now Audarya was one of them, and I think Guru Maharaj at first was not really sold on that place specifically, but of course, like I said, also he found Krishna there, or you could say he established Krishna there. But he has said about Saragrahi, when he found the land that then was Saragrahi, like he was saying that when he came onto that land, it was as if hearing Krishna playing his flute in one ear and Balaram blowing his horn in the other ear. So thank you for bringing the topic up, because that made me remember that. So I hope that's something. Okay. Okay, so we'll stop here, and next Friday will be the last one. And so since the first episode was about Guru Maharaj's previous life, and this episode is until now, then the last episode next week will be about Guru Maharaj's next life, about his upcoming life. So that will be very exciting. So see you all there, and see you all for the other Tattva Viveka programs. Thank you, Ananga Manjari, for translating. And yes, have a nice week. Gaura Premanande Haribol.
Haribol. Syamananda Prabhu ki jai.
Vaishnava Sangha ki jai.